got.
You are now watching Xpert's Corner on the DML Network.
Welcome into the DML Network. It's your boy Xpert, and I got another episode of Xpert's Corner. And man, we've had some heavy hitter guests on the show from Shopmaster, PX1 Sports. That boy W came through. The boy Shay Lee was in the building, and I got another heavy hitter in the building. You see him? It's none other than Smitty himself. What's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. You know, looking forward to getting it in, man. Honored to be on the show. Honored to be on.
No doubt. We appreciate big names in the EA community, game changers, people that love Madden, that love gaming. They're all about the community, taking time out of y'all busy day to jump on the show, man. We appreciate the love and appreciate the respect y'all showing. And man, we can't thank y'all enough. But I want you to let everybody know your YouTube channel, your Twitter, where can they find Smitty at? Y'all need to follow this man, because listen, if you want someone to just give it to you 100% real, he's not gonna hold nothing back. He don't care if you agree with him or don't agree with him. He just wants to put his opinion out there and let people start talking. So tell people where they can find you at.
Well, my Twitter handle, SmittyD1981. That's on Twitter. On YouTube, it's DTS5381 is the channel, or you say Smitty. But, you know, follow me. It's best to follow me on Twitter. That way, you know, when I'm streaming, when I put videos out, you can get those alerts that way. And then, you know, I definitely like streaming, so that way I can interact with people directly and everything. You know, I greatly appreciate that. But yeah, like you said, it's just about putting it out there straight, giving my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
You know, if people like it, cool. If you don't like it, if you think it's bad or negative, hey, that's I'm sorry, but that's just how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. And I love when you stream, you're always interactive. Talk to the fans when they jump on, when they put comments in. You're always quick to answer questions, to interact with the guys on the show. And that is amazing. Plus, you got a podcast with the homie Shay Lee that y'all do on Thursdays. What is the name of that? And that's on his channel.
Yeah.
And tell them where they need to tune in every Thursday to his channel as well.
All right, tune in. First of all, follow my brother Sim F Ball Critic on Twitter.
Doubt.
That's the main way you'll know. But it's on his YouTube channel, which is Sim F Ball Critic, and it's the Sim Standard Hangout. You know what I mean? We just do our thing. You know, get on. If you want to get on, or if you got topics, hit us up on Twitter. Let us know, because it's a community-driven show. And actually, our best shows is when we get the suggestions from the community and just vibe off of that, instead of us, you know, looking around for what's going on. So, but with the NFL draft coming up this weekend, we are, you know, we said it last week, we're going to be talking about the draft. Just as the picks are going, we're just going to be talking just football all out. So it's going to be fun.
No doubt. Y'all got to tune into that. Sim F Ball Critic on YouTube. It's a great show. You will see your boy Xpert on one of them shows here very, very soon.
Yes.
Y'all tune into that show on Thursdays. Yeah. Of course, the draft's going to happen, so there's going to be a lot going on. And we'll get into the NFL draft here a little bit later in the show. But let's jump into the first topic. And the first topic of the day is IMV and Axis football. All right, guys. If you have been hiding under a rock, let me explain something. We have two developers that are going to put out football games here very soon. This year, Access Football is going to put out an NFL game on the console. Then, IMV just announced yesterday that in 2020, they are going to put out the first college football game since NCAA. Now, let's start with IMV. You've seen a lot on Twitter of guys praising this company about to put out this college football game, all in with this college football game. And a lot of that is, I think, because we just haven't had a college football game in so long. Guys are thriving. They're begging for something with the college game. But you don't really want to jump on that bandwagon just yet. and you had a podcast came out today. Y'all need to check his YouTube channel out. Was a great podcast. It was just you being real from the start. And basically, what's your biggest concern with IMV in this game coming out in a couple years?
Well, my biggest concern is that we don't have anything to go by. We have no gameplay. We have no trailers. We don't have anything. They've shown us no proof of life in regards to the game at this point. And on top of that, my other concern is the community that has basically been pouring into this. They're pouring into an idea, a belief of a college football game. Yes, the news is nice. The only thing that, like I said before, the only thing that these guys have done so far is, yes, they've shown us how to hustle, how to hustle up some dollars. Congrats. I'll give them mad props. They did a great job at that. They sharked their money. They got it. Cool. But my big concern is on the community front, because we've seen this act before. Remember, was it not just another roster update? You waited long enough. Damon Grove, he came on our show, and I told him, I was like, listen, I'm with you, but right. I gotta see gameplay. I gotta see raw gameplay. You gotta show me what you're talking about. There's no point in saying, hey, we're gonna have y'all come to the studio and do all that. Show me what you're working with. Because right. If I come down there, I'll be like, I'm gonna tell you, like, no, it's a wrap. So, and we all know what happened from there. You saw screenshots, you saw videos of breakdowns of a hurdle and a ball spiraling in the air, only to find out this game was on mobile. You see what I'm saying? So, to see the same, well, I'm not saying this is the same things. We don't have any, but the problem is IMV Gaming has no track record. See, we could talk about Madden and have a predetermined mindset for Madden 19 because we got 18 to go by and previous titles. Even if people didn't buy this game or last year's game, or they've been 6 years away, you still have a Madden that you could reference. There's no reference point. So the absence, like, there's nothing there. It's like this. We got this new artist coming out, right? The Hot Like Fire. You think Eminem was tight? Oh, this artist can spit bars. Okay, cool. Let me hear something. Well, you can't hear nothing yet, but I'm telling you, they fired. I'm telling you.
Right.
Okay, can I look them up on SoundCloud? Can I look on YouTube? Can I listen to something? They got no mixtapes. They got no studio sessions. There's nothing on them.
Yeah.
But it's the hotness. And see, the problem, the issue is this is why I feel a certain way I feel about it, is because there's a desperation level here look, we've been deprived of a collegiate football game for a while now, since 2013. We've been deprived of a legitimate competitive football title to go up against Madden since 2000 calendar year 04. So, 05. But ever since that point, we don't have anything else to go by. So because we don't have anything else, there's this big time void. So it's like anyone that puts anything out there potentially, it's like, oh, look what they're doing. Oh, snap. Hey, man, we got to rally behind it. But the problem with that is unrealistic expectations get set. And I know we're going to jump into that, when we talk about the access, but it's the expectations of dev sets.
Right.
And then community puts it up here. Oh, man, look what they did in their game compared to Madden. Look what they got. Oh, man, Madden's slipping because look what they could do. And it's like, curve that, because you're going to tell people to check this game out. And then as soon as Madden drops something, people going to run right back to it. Boom. After all the negativity, boom, they right back and they're going to get mad anyway. And then they're going to downplay, whomever it is that's trying to come up. And that's the thing that I had. That's the issue that I have with that, is that people are, some people, not everyone, but you see people out here that are gravitating towards these games as a potential legitimate viable title. And it's like, I don't think that the game is on that level yet, and I don't think the devs even have that expectation to say that. That's why I say, give me PS2 level Madden quality kind of a football game. You in the house with me, I'll rock with you then. But I can't rock with with what they have yet. I'll check it out. I'll see what it is they do. But I mean, to be like next gen console, these 4K TVs and all these monitors and all this stuff that's out here, and to be like, I'm gonna play this lower tier game with lower tier graphics, all that detail and everything, and I'm gonna bypass the game that has more. For that, I just don't see, I don't see that as a true trade-off. So
no doubt, and I think a lot of it is just community needs to pump the brakes just a little bit. It's not like the game has got 400 videos on YouTube already. It has 0. We haven't seen anything. So, and I think a lot of people have already anointed this as the next college football game. And it's already in people's mindset that they have the disc ready to go. They haven't even started this football game yet. And that's why they said 2020. You're right. They did a great job front side, getting all the funding that they thought they needed to have. And listen, $10 million, let's be real. To make a true great video game, $10 million is not a lot. By the time you pay everybody their salary and you start creating this game, and then you got to go to PlayStation and Xbox and pay that kind of fee, that $10 million is going to go real quick. You're going to have to get a lot more money than that. So how long do they have to actually put some gameplay footage out to actually capture this group? So guys like you, Smitty, guys like me that are saying, okay, I need to see some gameplay. I need to see some kind of proof. I need to see some kind of fire. Don't just show me the smoke. I need to see a little bit of fire. And it doesn't have to be, I don't need to see 30 minutes of gameplay, but just show me what y'all are working with. How quick do they need to get that out? And how much could that really help them as they are even trying to fund it even more, getting towards that 2020 date?
Well, they need to get something out ASAP. Like, that's the number one thing. And I mean, as far as them, like, it needs to be progressive. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need to see a cinematic trailer because that's not, we already know that's not the game. So we need to see some, like, an in-game based video trailer. Everything is in-game, not potential, but everything is straight up. This is in-game kind of stuff. Right. Because remember, now for those that may not remember, Backbreaker, when that was announced back in 2007, none of us knew the street date. It just said coming soon. Right. But when you saw that first video out, it was gameplay. Like, that was actual gameplay and the way the game looked, and it was like, oh snap. It wasn't something put into a replay filter on a certain angle, looking a certain way. Like, no, you saw what we ended up getting in the actual game. So it's like, oh, okay, this is interesting. I want to see the same thing for this game, because Big Ant Studios is the company that's going to be, working on the game. Right. And I mean, their games, at least in my opinion, they're not mind-blowing. And I'm not like, OMG, I can't wait to see what they do with football now, because they did rugby and lacrosse, and the lacrosse game didn't look all that to me when I looked at, seeing that in action. So it's like, I mean, and like you said moments ago, $10 million, once you filter through everything, how much of that is truly going to quantify going to justify basically the caliber of this title? A lot of people that are looking at those numbers don't have no idea what that 10 million is actually going to do. They just see 10 mil. They're like, oh snap, now we got something. So we don't know. So, and I mean, this is the other point too, like I was saying before. Other people had said and brought this point up. When your game is publicly traded and you have that additional investors, that can derail the intent of the product. So this game can completely get watered down. Who knows? That's what I'm saying. See, I'm not saying that to be negative, but these are realistic elements that could possibly take effect. So,
yeah. And the great thing going for IMV right now is they have till 2020. They have some time. They got some time. It wasn't like they said, hey, guys, the game is coming out next April. You know, they've got some time. So they obviously have a plan. But I just think they need to be more transparent to the community and say, okay, here is the timeline we're looking to be at. Gameplay footage will be out in 4 months. We'll have devs come in. We're going to do interviews with devs. We're going to actually show gameplay. Whatever it is, there's got to be some kind of transparency to the community to get the rest of us on board. Just because we do have a game. We have Madden. It's polished. Now, is Madden going to make everybody happy? No, it's just not. That's just how a video game is. And we'll talk about Madden. But I want to switch real quick and go to Access just for a brief minute. You know, we got to talk to JD Richards, the developer from Access. Came on the show, did a great interview. Didn't try and fluff the game up to make it more than what it was. But Smitty, you're also one of those guys that you're not jumping 2 feet in the water yet. You kind of put your toes in a little bit and said, hey, I may check it out, see what it's about. But what is it about Access that's kind of making you kind of step back and say, whoa, let me look from the outside before I'm like everybody else and dive in head first?
Well, because my thing is, when it comes to the time that I play, when I get my play time in playing sports games, I want to make sure that it's something that I know that I'm going to play. I don't want to buy a game just to have it sit on the shelf and say, hey, at least I bought a copy of it. No, if it's something that I'm going to genuinely play, I'm going to make sure I'm going to fully support it. And with Access, with Access, the only reason why I feel the way I feel is just that, is there enough meat on the bone to gravitate me to playing that when I have Madden? I don't want to be like, man, I'm frustrated with Madden. I guess I'll throw this game on for 15 minutes and play it, and then that's it. That to me is a waste of money. To me, for me, like if I'm gonna get into it, I want to get into it. So, and plus the game just visually, it didn't have the appeal for me to really want to rock with it like that yet. So what I may do this year, like I said, I know on Steam you've been able to demo the game and try it out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna demo it. If I like it enough, I'll give it a shot, and I'll give it a try. So I mean, the other thing too was them getting online with your show, and I listened to that, and I mean, that's what really got me, because one of the big drawbacks was that, once again, the community overhyped and making this game to be so much more than what it is. Like, man, we need somebody to push Madden. We all want someone to push Madden, obviously, but these guys it's not going to happen from them.
No.
It's not at this point, at least.
Right.
It's not going to happen. So I just want something that's entertaining to play. So,
but you know what? JD was very honest, and he said, guys, don't think we're trying to go up against EA. That's a great company, multi-billion-dollar company. They know what they're doing over there at EA. Mm-hmm. We're just trying to get a different piece of the pie. We're a little company. I think they got 5 guys on payroll right now. I mean, these guys have full-time jobs doing something else. This is not like, and they at no point did they say, hey, this is going to compete with Madden at all. But you're right. But sometimes that's how the community is. Oh, I'm frustrated with Madden. Don't worry, guys. Access will be out later this year, and then we don't have to worry about Madden. Guys, It's not going to be customizable. There is no online. It's the first installment on the console is really what it is. Now, when they get to installment 3, 4, 5, can it add some of those things that we're looking for? Online franchise mode, fully customizable? Sure, it could be that. But this first edition is really where I just caution the community to just step back and take it for what it is. It's another alternative. I'm going to support them. I'm going to buy it when it drops the day it comes out, just because I'm going to support the homie JD. And I love what they're trying to do, the vision that they have. And if you talk to JD, the vision that they got is exactly what we're looking for. We're looking for guys to be all in with the CFM community and give us what we want. So because that's their vision, I'm going to support it. But there's nothing wrong with guys like Smitty that say the same thing. Like, hey, I want to support him. It's not like Smitty's on here saying, I don't want to support Axis football. Right. I want to support him, but I want to support him on my terms. Is it a game that I'm really going to put in my system to take time away? Because look, Smitty, we don't get 10 hours a day to play games. It's a small window. We got the wife got something, the kids got something going on. So when our small window comes, I want it to be eventful time on the PlayStation. Right. And that's really what Smitty and his group is talking about, guys that are in that camp. I'm just supporting them because of the homie JD. And it's another football game, so I'm going to support them. But, guys, be on the lookout. IMV. Follow those guys on Twitter, IMV Gaming. You have the homie JD Richards. Follow those guys. Be up to date with what's going on with those two video games. You got one supposed to be out later this year, and then you got one coming out 2020. But do your research. Don't just take it for what it is. Actually pay attention, follow them, follow what's going on, and make a smart decision. Please. But let's move on to something that I know you love to talk about. And of course it's Madden. Let's talk Madden 18. Now, Madden 18, a lot of people have been hating on this video game. But you know, you talk to CFM Ball, you talk to myself, to Shop, you talk to a lot of these guys. We really do enjoy playing this game. Now, are there things that we won't fit? Sure. I think with every Madden copy, there's always been something I think, hey, they could have done this better, or why didn't they do this? But there were some great things in Madden 18. So I want to go through just some of the best things you have in Madden 18. Let's get your top 5 Madden 18 things that you love, and then maybe a couple things you want to see changed in Madden 19. Now, I know you're a game changer. You can't really give us no info. Don't, I don't want you to ruin anything. Nothing like that. You know, we want to keep your employment status right with EA. Right, yeah. We don't want to mess that up. But what are some things from 18 that you love, and then some things you want to see change in Madden 19?
Well, the biggest thing that I love is that, number one, they made the move to Frostbite. That to me is the biggest thing right there, because that opens up a lot of dimensions. And I mean, as I spoke of in the past, mentioning other games that are already on Frostbite, now they can pull from those games potentially. Well, not potentially, like they can, but it's just a matter of how they can augment things now and get that done. Because as we remember, Ignite was originally supposed to be the platform, and the games were all supposed to be able to do that there, but it didn't work out. So seeing this done, and plus from what we've seen from Battlefield back in the day, it was like, oh man, they need to do this in Madden. Now they're there. So that's the hugest thing. The commentary, the Charles Davis and Brandon Garden, that was huge right there to me, having those guys in. You know, I've had a chance to meet those guys. Cool guys, like they're really cool guys, very nice guys. And the commentary dynamic that they bring to the table is great, especially the fact that they can keep updating the commentary week after week as the season goes on. That's pretty hot. So I really, that's on point. Let me see. As far as what else was like really a big thing to me, I'll say this: the physics impact due to being on Frostbite, that is a big deal to me. That I would say, that's the top thing, because, and even though, like I said, it's rough because it ported over, I understand that, but it's the potential that they can do, because there's only so much that they could honestly do with making the port and everything else and the whole circumstance. So I liked that. That was huge to me.
Yeah, and it was a lot. It was a lot to move to Frostbite. I don't think people really understand how much work that took to go from one engine to the next engine in 1 year span. I mean, from 17 to 18, they moved an entire engine on top of putting another mode in called Longshot. Those two things right there took so much time and really hindered them working on connected franchise mode. It really did, because they were so busy trying to get the move over to the Frostbite engine, adding Longshot, and I think really they did the best job that they could do. And we're just going to see it improve from here. I mean, the Frostbite engine is just going to get better and better every single year. The animations will get better. And this year, hopefully, they do some CFM things. So what's some things you want to see in Madden 19 that you didn't see in Madden 18?
I want to see franchise step all the way up. You know, like that's the big part. But at the same kill, gameplay. Because like I said, I'm gameplay first. Right. But this time around, it's got to be like a 1-1A. You know what I mean? Like, they're both. Well, I should say 1-to-1. Like gameplay, franchise, they both on that same level this year. It's got to be like that. As far as anything like things that I harp on the most, zone play, integrity. I want to see guys moving all across the field. I want to see. I mean, not just wilding out, but I'm saying logically, I want to see guys lurking. I want to see guys moving according to what the play call is, like what the offense is doing. I want to see these guys moving accordingly. I don't want to see uniform play. There's too much uniform play in the secondary. Whereas we've seen in NFL 2K5, they move all over the field, even backbreaker. You could call a zone defense, but depending upon what they do, they switch it from zone to man defense. Charles Davis says it in the commentary, you know what I mean? And yet we don't see it happen on a regular basis out there in the game or whatever in the secondary. So, excuse me. So I definitely want to see that. I want to see player movement. That's another huge aspect that I've talked about many times over. I want to see player movement step up. With them being on Frostbite, my thing that I have in mind is like, okay, now you got FIFA. They do an outstanding job with player movement, with minimal shifting and warping, and plus player collisions are very respected. So in positioning, height, size, all that, there's some hiccups, but it's very clean. I want to see them take that and put that into Madden. Now they're on that same Frostbite platform. You know, I know the game. I know this pretty much was. You know, it seems like it may be scrapped. Target passing. I understand the mechanic, the difficulty of it. There still does need to be. They need to do a passing. It doesn't have to be something of old, like, oh, they got to do QB vision. We can easily say that because that's something that we've seen and used before. But they can do something that's underneath the hood and make a passing mechanic that gives us that full control as far as where we want to throw the ball without having to pick a cursor and all that stuff. Like maximum passing. You know what I mean? It is a learned skill, but you can have higher sensitivity, like what's the name of the game? Like Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods 14. When you put it on simulation mode, the sensitivity of the swing was crazy if it was off the mark, regardless of your rating. So you could have Tiger, whoever it is that's the best off the tee. If that swing ain't lined up right, that sucker, you could shank it just like that. Right. And I love that because that it brings that challenge element in. So let us have that. And I mean, I would be cool with them having a slider to accompany that pass sensitivity or control, you know, the sensitivity of the stick. Right. You can move that up, low, medium, high, just like they did in Tiger. They kept it real simple with the settings, but you could do that. Right. So I would love to see something like that done. Like those would be my top things to see. So
all right. So confidence. Do we keep it or do we scrap it?
Keep confidence. You got to keep confidence, man. You can't get rid of that, man. But see, I'd rather see the system done differently than the way it is. Don't scrap it. See, get rid of XP. Get rid of XP. I would love to see player development actually while you, like MLB The Show, Road to the Show. I'd rather it be based off of what they actually do in game. Even if you're controlling them or not. Still, I would rather it be what they do in game. Right. Instead of, oh, I got all this XP. I'm gonna wait to use it, and then now I'm just gonna dump it on them. Like, I'm not with that system. But with the confidence system, it's more of working it out right, so that way it makes sense in terms of boosting or bringing down their morale. Like, you didn't throw me. It's the first half, and you haven't targeted me once. Confidence goes down for this wide receiver, tight end. This halfback fumbled the ball X amount of times. Drop, he's like tendencies, trait adjustments, things like that, like hot and cold, dynamic player performance, anyone. You know what I'm saying? They had that already. See, that's that kind of stuff. I would love to see that brought into the game, brought back, bring that back, because that's what's used now in these other games. Baseball, you got hot and cold zones. NBA 2K, players go on hot and cold streaks based upon the badges or traits they have. That's how they're able to quickly snap that streak or not. Maybe they need to be benched for a moment and regather themselves. Maybe they need to take a timeout and then they can perform better. Like, there's things that could be done systematically to make confidence better than just the way they have it right now. So
it definitely can't stay the same way. So we'll put Smitty down as they gotta fix confidence.
Yes,
they can't leave it the same way. All right, guys, those are Smitty's top things he wants to see in Madden 19. Y'all be on the lookout. Don't forget, at EA Play, we will be there. We will be looking at all the gameplay. We're gonna look at all the things they changed, and we'll have some of these game changers back on the show where they can actually talk about some things that got changed without ruining their agreement with EA and getting fired, which is not what we want to happen. All right, let's move on to something that's near and dear to your heart, and that's the city of Detroit.
Yes.
Okay, let's start with the NFL team. You are 2 years now removed from Megatron walking out the door and saying he's done playing football. You got one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I don't care what anybody says. Matthew Stafford is a top quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
What do the Detroit Lions need to draft this year to make them a contender in that NFC North?
Well, they need defense. And, I mean, I know that they're pointing at them in the mock drafts, initially starting out, going with the D tackle, which is something that they definitely need a D tackle, like because Elodie Nada left. We also need to get another receiving threat in there. Ebron's gone, so they chose not to keep him. Ebron's gone. Darren Fells, he's gone too. So we're going to, we definitely need to make that move, though. We need to make a move on that, which we could do that later on in the draft. But I'll definitely want to see defensive line, more secondary help. Bring that in. And then if we could get an offensive line piece as well, that'll be helpful, because, I mean, we have a new coach, so I don't know how Patricia is, how that's going to work on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, we got LeGarrette Blount. We got Luke Wilson as well. But see, it all depends upon how healthy he's going to be. Like I said, we could possibly get somebody in, later on in the draft. There's going to be some undrafted talent they could possibly bring on board too. So we'll see. But the biggest things for me, offensive line, we need an additional receiver threat. Galladay did great, so he can emerge to be somebody, but he has to be able to stay healthy. That's the big thing. So we need a little bit more depth at the wide receiver spot. Hopefully the offensive line can stay healthy and perform and hold blocks. Then we can actually have a run game established. But the secondary is, like I said, the secondary is a big deal to me, especially now, Terrell Austin's gone. So it's like, I don't know. See, there's a lot of question marks. So we have good players and we have some guys that have proven themselves, but we got to see how they're going to rally up behind Patricia, and this being his first, this will be his first campaign as the head coach. So we'll see. Yeah.
And does it still hurt that Megatron left?
Oh, it's always going to hurt that Megatron left, man, because he could have kept playing, but, you know, it's just like seeing Patrick Willis go. He only played a handful of years when he could have played a lot longer than that.
Right.
But he decided to leave. You're like, man, look, I got my money. I don't need to be up here getting hurt like that. I'm good. I'm out. And I mean, Calvin wouldn't even practice. Like, that's how good of a player he was. He was like, he had the soreness and all that. And he was like, man, I'm not even practicing. He just goes out there game day and performs. So, it sucks. But, I mean, we had to move. We had to move forward. And, yeah, I mean, look. It's not like we were one play away from getting to the Super Bowl or something like that. So it's like, yeah, it sucks we lost them, but we can at least rebuild. And I mean, with the team we had, it's not like we were we were that bad. Right. You know what I mean? But we had more of a scrappy team as far as the receiving core. We didn't have anybody that was great. And I mean, Galladay did a good job, but hopefully we can strike and get somebody else in the, to help our receiving core and boost us up even more. But what's going to be critical is establishing the run game, because like I've said numerous times over the years, talking to other people and everything, it doesn't matter who we have in the backfield. If the line can't hold blocks for nothing, they're going to get stopped all day. It doesn't matter. You could have AP in his prime back there. Yeah, and he's getting stopped because you have to create holes. Like, the Vikings made a hole in the line. That's how you got to the second level. All these backs and everything, they're deadly when they get to the second level. So you have to be able to get there. That's why Abdullah, yes, he has some fumble problems, but how many times have we really seen him get to the second level? Not many. But when he did, he's able to do damage. So that's why I'm like, yo, let's make that happen. Let's get these blocks, hold these blocks in place long enough. So, and that's been a problem in Detroit for a long time. Oh man, Barry Sanders begged and pleaded for an offensive line his entire career. Imagine what that guy could have done if he had some blocks and got to the second level untouched. He might still be running. That's how good Barry Sanders was. All right, let's switch up and talk Detroit Pistons. All right, man. Y'all make the trade. You go get Blake Griffin. And I thought for sure when you added Blake, I thought that made Detroit a playoff team to me. But the Blake experiment didn't work out as well as I thought it was. What was so difficult? You probably have two of the best big men. And Blake was pretty much healthy once he got to Detroit. I guess he got out of L.A. and got rid of his health problems. But what really held y'all back is it the guard play that just can't get the ball to those big boys? Well, no, it's not the guard play. It's the scheme. Stan Van Gundy wants to have Drummond go off of screen and rolls all the time. He's not trying to post them up. Yeah. And when you're not doing that, you're putting him at a weakness. Why a man his size should not be at the top of he shouldn't be at the top of the arc. That man should be on the block, automatically on the block, regardless of who it is doing work. And with Blake, I wasn't really a huge fan of the Blake Griffin trade because of how injury prone he's been. And I mean, the thing is, we sacrificed our draft pick in a stacked draft class this year, and we basically sacrificed our draft pick for him. So basically, our draft pick is Blake Griffin. So it's like, I mean, he can contribute. Yes, he can be a good contributor. And they didn't do bad down the stretch, but it was too little too late. Yeah. But they didn't do bad down the stretch once Reggie came back. But I think that making that move for Blake was not the best move that we could have made. I would have felt better if we just waited till the offseason and drafted accordingly. And I mean, look, I feel Stan Van Gundy's got to go. You know what I mean? At one point I was saying, you know what? Let him just relinquish the GM role and just focus on coaching. But these guys are not bought into him. They're not playing for him. Look, Utah Jazz, those guys are playing for that coach. Boston Celtics, they're playing for that coach. There's no question that they are. these guys, they don't give two flying farts about Stan. They're not playing for him. So that's what I'm saying. Like, look, Drummond didn't do much in college. He was only there 1 year. So the best highlight reel you really have to look at from him was in high school. In high school, I mean, you would see him put the ball on the floor. He would, face up centers and all that stuff and drive, jump step, pro hop, all that. Like, he'd use moves. Here, you see him do it in spurts. And it's like, dude, if you would just let him play, the man can be averaging over 20 a game. If you really ran the offense through him, he could average 20 and 15 or 16 boards. Like, this dude is a monster. And that's why it cracks me up when I see people in Detroit saying, oh, we need to trade Drummond. We need to get rid of him. Why'd they pay him that money? I'm like, are you sick? You see that man, what he's able to do? That guy's ridiculous. We needed him. So we just have to have, we need a coach that's going to buy into the players, actually use the players to their strengths, right? I know that people are kicking and screaming about the whole Donovan Mitchell. Oh, we passed him up. Listen, nobody knew that kid was going to be that special.
No.
Okay, let's just stop it.
And, a lot of people passed him up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was 13th pick. Okay, so it's not like, you know what I mean? Yeah. But this is, I will say this though. Looking at Luke Kennard, and I know, some people say like, oh, well, if Luke Kennard was the one over there in Utah, he wouldn't be doing that. I can't say that he would be doing all that. I can't say what Luke Kennard would truly be doing, because in a Pistons uniform, Van Gundy got him restricted. Just like Stanley Johnson, he's restricted. He's not even using Stanley Johnson according to his draft. His scouting report tells you how to use him, and he doesn't use them according to that. He got him outside shooting threes. He ain't a three-ball specialist, yet you got him posted out there shooting threes and stuff. Of course he's going to miss the mark a lot with three, because he's not great at it. You got to play these guys to their strengths, and Stan Van Gundy is not doing that. We drafted Stanley Johnson, Henry Ellison, who this man can do work out there, and you got him on the bench. And you got Luke Kennard, who is funny how he's only had 3 or 4 games where he's been able to actually shoot the ball and do what he wants to do, and he gets you nearly 20 points a game. Go figure. Each one of those times. So I can only imagine. That's why I say, when you look at Mitchell and say, oh, he wouldn't be able to. I can't say that he wouldn't be able to do that. So, but I want to see a coach come in, give this team a real chance, let these young guys run, and just say, look, this is a scheme, but what y'all want to do? You got to play according to what you have in front of you. It's just like what Cooter did when he became the OC. He looked at the offensive line. We don't have a great offensive line. What is it that each one of you guys are good at? And then all of a sudden, these guys are able to block better. It's not like they just had this overnight revelation. He just like, no, what is it that you're strongest with? Right. And I'm gonna help you hone on that. And they were able to block better, and they were winning games. Especially they were able to ignite their passing game a lot more because of the coaching change. So
Stan Van Gundy, you are officially on the hot seat.
Yes.
Smitty says it's time for you to go. We need a new coach with the Detroit Pistons. Man, I could have sworn when Blake Griffin showed up that Detroit was just about to take off, because he requires so much attention down low that Drummond, if you give that guy an inch, he is going to embarrass your defense. But I don't know. I don't watch a lot of Detroit Pistons basketball, but I can promise you this: the little bit that I have seen, I didn't like the combo of Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond. It just didn't look like it fit. It didn't look like those two guys were on the same page, like Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan were. Now I know DeAndre and them played a lot longer, and maybe that chemistry will start to develop, and we'll see a lot better Piston team. And maybe next year, maybe Stan Van Gundy's already gone. They just haven't made the announcement yet.
Time to fire.
But definitely the coach makes a huge difference. All right, guys, those are our topics here on Xpert Corner. So in closing, let me just say, man, Smitty, I appreciate you jumping on. You reached out to me, was like, hey, dude, how come I ain't been on Xpert Corner yet? Like, come on, dude. Like, get me on the show. We got to talk, Madden. We got to talk all this stuff. And, you know, big shout out to the homie Tight Work. You know, he tried to get that ball rolling. The homie Tight Work in the Dynasty reached out to you, reached out to me. I'm sorry I'm old. I fell asleep that night. I was supposed to get in the chat. But your boy Xpert was in the bed. I was wore out. But, man, huge respect for what you guys are doing, you and CMF Ball, and what y'all mean to this community. I don't think people really understand how important you guys are and how much of a voice you are for us, CFM guys, and how much you're standing at the doors of EA saying, give our CFM guys what they want. This is what they're begging for. So, man, huge respect for what y'all doing. Man, I appreciate you jumping on Xpert Corner.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you, guys. Thank you a lot for having me.
Yeah, no doubt was a blast. I always love to hear your opinion because, like I said, if you want to hear raw, real, 100% truth coming from him, he's not going to sugarcoat nothing. That's the homie Smitty. He's going to give you exactly what he's feeling. And like I said, if you agree with him, great, agree with him. If you don't, that's cool too. He's not going to change his opinion. He's not going to change it up. He's going to keep on giving it to you. So make sure y'all check him out on YouTube. And don't forget, the Sim Standard this Thursday, Sim F Ball Critic on YouTube. Make sure y'all tune in. They're going to have a lot of things to talk about. But appreciate the homie Smitty jumping on Expert's Corner.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys. Last segment of the show, it's Expert's Thoughts. And Expert Thought number one, let's talk IMV and Axis for a minute. Guys, you heard on the show both sides of the coin. Yes, I am excited that we have 2 new games coming out. But I want the community to understand. Let's not compare apples to apples just yet. Let's have these guys got to have, like the homie Smitty said, some proof of life. You've got to show me what you're working with. I cannot support IMV blind and unseen. I've reached out to the guys at IMV. I want them to come on Expert's Corner. Let's talk. I want to get you guys on camera. Get your brand out there. Tell us what you got going on, your timeline, whatever is going on, because that's what the community needs to hear. That's what I need to hear. What is the plan? Because I want to support you. I want an NCAA football game. It is so important to this community. And if it's fully customizable, I can change the Wisconsin Redbirds to the Wisconsin Badgers in a heartbeat. Would love to do it. But I got to get y'all to tell me what the plan is. Access Football is the same way. The homie JD is very real, very honest. Gave us his opinion. Y'all make sure that you're doing your research. Go out there and find out what these guys are doing. All right, guys. Expert Thought number 2. It's your boy Xpert on Xpert Corner, and I promise you this. I love having huge guests on the show. You've seen everybody from JD Richards. You've seen Smitty. You've seen CMF Ball Critic. You've seen Dat Dub. You've seen so many great guys, Shopmaster, on the show. This is my official invitation. Deuce Douglas, the homie Ryan Moody. I want you guys to please come jump on the show. Come see your boy Xpert. Let's talk CFM community. Let's talk Madden. You both have great opinions about the game and about this community, and I want to hear what you have for us. I'm hitting y'all up. You will see this on Twitter. Come see your boy Xpert. I'm always open to have you guys on the show. But this has been Expert's Corner. It's your boy Xpert, and I'm out.